Let's do it.
Welcome back to another episode of Halex Paranormal Podcast. My name is Alex.
My name is Haley.
Bringing you the spookiest content. This week, we'll be talking about
Jerome and its history.
As you know, we've been slacking on making videos, and we haven't been back at making anything. We promised 2 videos the last couple weeks, but, life and this corona shit and trying to get back at work, it's just hasn't been able to work out.
We recorded it, but we didn't like how it sounded, so we didn't put it out.
Yeah, the Black Eyed Children episode, we kind of just threw it out the window because it just wasn't good, and we all agreed that it was just complete bullshit. So we stopped it, and now we're here again, here to talk about the history on Jerome. So the cool thing is, we actually went all the way up to Jerome this weekend. It's about 2 hours from Phoenix, and we did a little ghost hunting ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But to start out, we just wanted to let you guys know, we appreciate everyone who subscribed to our YouTube channel. We have one new Patreon who started their monthly, support. And all the people that followed us on Instagram and that have showed their love and support, through this small little kind of side project that we're doing. We'll hop right into it. Instead of reading an entire script and going word for word from Google, we decided to just tell you what we know as facts from actually the tours that we've taken up there. We've gone on 4 different ghost hunts and tours.
Yeah.
Every single time we've gotten cool stuff. Unfortunately, this trip, we didn't get as much as we wished for.
Mm-hmm.
But we still had fun, and even Mama Heather decided to get a little too drunk, and we all had really good time. Went out to eat, and went on the latest ghost hunt. We were actually the only ones on the ghost hunt for that night.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, since it was so late, it just seemed like their tour guide he just wanted to get home, which I understand. But at the same time, we did pay almost $400 to go on the tour. And it was only 2 hours long, so it was a little disappointing this time, I will say.
Definitely.
But we did still get some, creepy stuff. From what we know, Jerome was a mining town.
Mm-hmm.
Many miners died during that era. And some cool facts that we learned when we were up there is that when these miners died, there were so many deaths that they ended up losing room to bury all these miners and these people that were getting these illnesses from either mining accidents to flus and other illnesses. Tuberculosis was another one that they were dying from.
The Spanish flu was a big one.
Yeah, and they ran out of room, and they actually started cremating these people and using their bodies to create cement to build buildings. So almost every single building that you see there now, including the hospitals, including even some of the bakeries and the shops and the restaurants that you eat in now, they are actually built not on dead bodies, but with dead bodies. That's probably one of my favorite facts about Jerome. And if you guys hear the dogs in the background, by the way, they just won't stop playing. So we're just going to push through it and keep going. That was one crazy fact that we learned. Another thing was that there were so many houses out there, so many as in there was a very little amount of houses that they could live in. So there was not much space, so these miners were actually living in the same houses and sleeping in the same bed. So there was about 8 to 10 miners that would share actually the same bed, just switching off of shifts and who was home at that time and, who wanted to go to sleep at that time. And then, when they'd go down in the mines, they kind of knew the risks that they would take going down there because they could die from anything, accidents, even illnesses, bronchitis, all that shit that, we deal with today, but it's not so bad because we have the material to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that we learned when we were out there is that, the Jerome, Arizona was originally was supposed to be the capital of the state. and then it ended up being Prescott, and then it ended up being Phoenix. There's a lot of backstory to that. So if you want to learn more, I would kind of Google the topic because we don't want to bore you with all the facts. Also, Jerome, Arizona is also one of the most haunted places in Arizona, just because of the hospitals and all the deaths. But I don't completely agree with that, because we just recently found out Ajo, Arizona has an abandoned hospital/asylum that is doing tours. So stay with us till about 3 to 4 months ahead, even a little bit further than that. We plan on doing a 10-hour overnight investigation inside of the Ajo hospital out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be
amazing,
insane, just totally worth the watch and totally worth the listen. So to get back into like what we did on the trip and Jerome itself, it's about 20 minutes from Cottonwood. Once you enter Cottonwood's a very small town as well. You drive 20 minutes up to Jerome, and then once you get to the beginning of Jerome, it is nothing but hatchbacks the whole way up the mountain. It is standing a little less than 5,000 feet on the side of a mountain. Many times there have been collapses in the earth where buildings actually slid off the mountain and they had to rebuild from there. Even their jail fell and their parking lot fell 3 times. About 9 o'clock, the whole town shuts down, except for one bar on Main Street, which stays open until about 2 a.m. But literally, the whole thing is a ghost town. It was so creepy. There was fog all up the mountain. It looked like something out of Silent Hill. But when you get up to the top, there's a few restaurants that I would recommend. Try out the Haunted Hamburger. Mm-hmm. Everyone was totally against it because it's super expensive. It is. It's like $15 a burger. But everyone can agree that it was well worth it.
Oh, yeah.
They got good alcoholic beverages. Their fries are homemade. Like, it's not something that they pull out of a bag. They prep all of this stuff. Their baked potatoes are amazing. Enough about food, though. We're going to get into the ghost tent. We arrived about 9 o'clock, got all of our equipment charged up. We sat around for a little bit inside the shop, talked with our tour guide's son that was there. It was really nice, but at the same time, we were ready to go. About 10:30 rolls around, we get on the bus and we go. They actually took us to a location they don't take anybody to because it was raining and it was muddy. They took us up to the 3rd hospital, which is now being turned into apartment buildings.
They recycle all of their buildings.
Yeah, they recycle everything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't break anything down. If it was a restaurant, it'll turn into a home, or it'll turn into another restaurant or a winery. There's a lot of wineries up there, so yeah. But anyway, when we went in there, I didn't feel anything creepy. I wasn't scared. So it was kind of like off-putting because I was like, yeah, I don't feel anything, and I'm very empathic. So I instantly feel things and surroundings around me, and I didn't feel one thing. We walked up into the 3rd floor, which actually there is an episode on Ghost Adventures where they did tour the 3rd hospital and a door slammed on them and they ran out of the building all dramatic like. But I'll tell you right now, we walked around in there nonchalant, didn't give there was nothing that happened. There was not one thing that happened to us while we were in there that made us go, oh no, But anyway, we did our tour up there. We went back downstairs, and we headed over to what did we head to?
The graveyard.
Yeah, we actually did go over to the graveyard. You want to go ahead and talk about that?
Well, the graveyard was pretty boring. We never get anything when we go there. There's not very many graveyards there, like grave sites. Like, what are those?
Yeah, there's probably like headstones and stuff. They have them like all caged off, and there's probably like maybe 20, 30 of them maybe.
Not very many at all. But it was raining, like you said, so we kind of just went back into the van. It was really cold, and we went to the high school.
I think we were only there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't very long at all.
We didn't even want to go there, and we were kind of disappointed that he took us there anyway because he said that we weren't going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we headed over to the high school. Usually.
Well, the high school's like our favorite place to go because we always get shit there.
Yeah, and like every single time we're like, oh, let's just skip everything else and go straight to the high school and just let's do the high school. But of course, they want to get the full effect, and I appreciate them taking us to the third hospital, but it was very disappointing that we didn't get anything.
Yeah.
You know, we went into the high school, walked around a little bit, and I wasn't scared the entire time, and it was super weird because the air usually feels really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I wasn't scared to walk places or anything like that.
Okay.
So I wanted to tell you the 2 experiences that we did have. But since this was kind of a boring trip, like not boring, but more of like uneventful, I'm just going to go straight into talking about our old past trips. And I'll actually include some of our EVPs that we caught on those trips in this episode. So the first thing that we did get when we were there, we caught a EVP, and I can't remember exactly what we said before, but it was something like, if there's anybody here, can you please say something? And it sounded like it said, come closer and you'll hear me. And it was a very long sentence, and it was very like clear, come closer and you'll hear me. That's what we think it says. What do you think? Go ahead and have a listen right now. Yeah, if you guys have any idea what it says, just let us know, and then we'll go from there. We tried to debunk it as any of our voices, and it's not. We tried. The second one that we've caught was actually up in the auditorium stairwell. I'll tell you right now, right there was when we were starting to get EMF reader spikes. We were actually asking it to come closer and touch it, and every time we did, it would like read red. We'll try to, on the episode where we actually show you the ghost hunt, I will show you the EMF readers, and I'll show you the EVPs again. But the only thing that you can't hear when you're listening to it is when we decided to turn off all of our lights in complete quiet, try to get something spooky to happen.
Good.
We actually had just gotten done saying, if you're there, if there's anybody there, please show us a sign, please make a noise. And then the other people that were with us, Tori and Anthony, they said that they heard like a pebble being thrown, but Haley and I both heard it sounded like a creak, like if someone was walking,
mm-hmm.
minus the footsteps, but it was right on cue, and it could be debunked as a old building, creaks and shit happen. But I'll tell you right now, it was pretty creepy. It was like, it made me turn my light on, the EMF reader went off, and we were like, oh shit, But that was honestly it, and then we were really disappointed because it was finally picking up, and he was like, okay guys, it's time to go, and it was at 12.
Yeah.
That he was like, it's time to go, and I was like, because we were told it was between 10:30 to 12:30, so why not give us that extra 30 minutes? But before we go on to our next story, Haley has a story that she wants to tell you from that trip.
Okay, so when we were in the basement in the yellow room, we all heard a knock, and it was like definitely. Do we have a video of it?
I don't think we caught it on video.
Damn. Okay. It was very clear. We definitely heard it, and yeah.
But we still haven't gone over our footage, so we can't tell you that.
Yeah.
The video that you guys will be seeing from that trip will be put on later on. We can't edit it right now. There's about my camera, Haley's camera, Tori's camera, Anthony's camera that we need to get all the footage and all the photos. We did catch orbs and random, pictures that we will include in our Instagram once we get them finalized and everything's good and done. So, since we're talking about Jerome, we just want to go ahead and talk about a few trips that we've had. Jerome was our favorite place, and I can sadly say it's kind of died down since this last one.
Mm-hmm.
I was really disappointed in this last one, but it will always be a place that we will hold dear in our memory just because I've taken, my group home kid that I supported for a while, and I've taken family and friends up there, and we've always had a great time. One of the times that I took my kid with me, we weren't actually, my group home kid, we weren't even supposed to go on the ghost tour. It was a history tour. The group home kid that I took with us last time, it wasn't supposed to be an actual ghost tour. It was supposed to be a history tour. And the ghost tour guide, actually accommodated to our want because it was an accidental purchase. Sorry, Sedona was scratching. Um, we actually paid for the history tour by accident, and he accommodated to our needs and wants, and he gave us a little ghost tour. So it was super unexpected to even catch anything because it wasn't a legit tour.
We should talk about that one ghost tour that we had. I mean, the ghost tour lady that we had, the girl, because she was awesome. And I don't want them to think that this Jerome thing kind of sucks. Okay.
So on that tour that we had was actually the one. It was the same tour guide that we had this last time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not hating on this ghost tour company at all because they are amazing. They are family friendly. They accommodate everybody's wants and needs. They're just super awesome. I just want to give a shout out to both of them just because they honestly they do the best that they can. And Miranda was one of our last tour guides before this last one, and she was
amazing,
absolutely amazing. The best tour guide that you could possibly have. So if you're ever in Jerome and you want to book a tour with Ghost Town Tours, ask for Miranda. She only works on the weekends, I think, but it doesn't hurt to ask, all year round, weekdays as well. She is absolutely amazing. We won't out her for anything that she actually let us do, but she's probably the best tour guide that you could possibly get there. And that's not to put any of the other ghost guys down because they do everything they're supposed to, and they're really good as well. But this the first tour that we ever went on, we actually caught a lot, and we'll try to make it quick because I don't want this episode to be too long. The first thing I ever caught was a growl. I was panning my camera, we weren't asking questions, and I heard like a legitimate growl. And here it is, I'll play it for you right now. The second thing that we caught when we were walking into the building, I actually caught a voice come through saying, "Can you guys hear me?" I'll play it for you right now. Okay. So that one sends chills down my spine because it's like they know we're there, and they're like, "Oh, can anybody hear me? Can you guys hear me?" It was super weird. And then right after that, if you listen to this again, you can hear a woman laughing. Right after this woman makes a joke about a spider or something, you can hear an electronical voice come through going, ha 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 ha. I'll play it right here.
Black Widow. Yeah.
I'm actually more afraid of that than ghosts.
Right. So, well, I do show people.
The joke was that she thought the spiders were scarier than the ghosts.
Which wasn't even funny, and nobody in the group actually laughed, so
exactly.
we all agreed that we didn't hear it. We didn't hear her laugh. Nobody laughed. And then on our way out, we actually caught this voice right here.
Shut down. There were 13 kids in the graduating class.
We don't know what it says. We've thought about, hey Dennis, hey Menace, he's among us, stuff like that, or he knew us. Let us know what you think, because it's very important to us that we figure this out. We're not trying to save the world or anything. We just want to know what it says. So if you know, please let us know. That would be great.
Or what your IDs are.
Yeah, what your IDs are. Another cool thing that happened to us was on our second or third tour. We went back, and one of our friends on the tour with us actually turned his head and he saw what looked like a little boy peeking around the corner. Later, when he mentioned it to the tour guide, she freaked out and was like, "Oh my God, that's Wade." I'm like, "Oh shit, who's Wade?" And apparently he's a little boy that actually roams the staircase in the Jerome High School, another thing that happened to us when we were there was I was inside of the girls' locker room, which you have to get permission from a male spirit in there to go in, and I was hit in the back of my head. And after that, we didn't run out like when they do in Ghost Adventures. We went out, and I just got smacked in the back of the head. It was really weird. And then right after that, we were walking away or aside or passing by it, and I saw this like weird ball of light kind of come out at me, and I got super confused. I was so confused. I didn't know where I was, and I mean Haley can vouch for that.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, and she's like, what's wrong with you? So I mean that one was pretty creepy. Going upstairs, the EMF reader kept going off. We were actually playing with this little ghost kid. We were like, do you want us to go here? And then the EMF reader would go off. We're like, oh, you want to go over here? If it didn't go off, then we didn't go over there. But as soon as the EMF reader stopped going off, the moment it stopped going off, I felt this heavy weight come up right behind me, and it scared the shit out of me. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe. I literally was like, is there something behind me? And we even when every single time we'd ask Wade if he was scared, the EMF reader would just shoot off.
Wade was a really cool ghost. Like, we had a lot of fun with him, and he was very active. He talked to us a lot.
Yes. We'll insert a couple of photos and pictures and stuff of
Wade.
We actually caught a picture of a little boy poking his head around the corner. If you don't want to wait for our video that comes out, go ahead and watch it, or go look at it on our Instagram, which is halex.p.tv. But yeah, those have been probably one of our a couple best ghost hunts in Jerome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, last thing that I want to mention, we stayed in the Grand Hotel.
Oh.
We stayed in the Jerome Grand Hotel, and it was
crazy,
super heavy, super crazy. So we actually, as soon as we got into our room, Haley threw her little slides off, and in a moment, like in an instant, I looked down, and her shoes started to roll underneath the bed, like literally out from out of nowhere, just started rolling underneath the bed. We did some EVPs that night. I'll insert one of the EVPs right after this. It said, we asked, what's your name? And it said AJ. Really cool. After we asked it to make a noise, it started sounding like there was the pipes above us started banging. And we're like, can you please make a noise? And on cue, it just started banging. Old building, can be dismissed. But it stopped when we asked it to stop. Last but not least, actually, there's two stories before we end it. Sorry. The first thing is, me and Haley were actually sitting up at about midnight that night. We were laying in bed, and next thing you know, it sounded like our stuff was going, rustling on our table, all of our snacks and our drinks and stuff. It sounded like there was something on the table going through our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then our ice bucket, it was metal, and it sounded like someone was lifting the handle up and going, tink, 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 tink. That was really scary to me. Fast forward to, I wake up in the middle of the night, about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I open my eyes, and the room is a bright white, as if I'm in a hospital. And I can't move, but I can move my eyes, and I can move my head a little bit, and I see a woman that looks like a nurse walk out of the bathroom, walks up next to my bed holding a tray, says, when you're feeling better, try eating this. When you're feeling better, try eating this. And in that moment, she turned around, she walked back in the bathroom, disappeared. I snapped up out of bed. I went to go wake up Haley, and it sounded like the electricity was going out. It sounded like there was a surge. And I went, And that freaked me out most of all. I mean, I did go back to bed after that, but it was a little bit wild. later that I went back to bed after that. But the last thing that happened to anybody that night or during that trip was the next morning we woke up and Haley and the lady that was sleeping in the room next to her, I'm not going to mention her name, um, heard a cat meowing in the room. Like it sounded like there was a little cat stuck. And people have seen cats in that room specifically, and they have seen nurses. So,
And they actually have pictures of nurses and cats in the room.
yes, they do. If we find the photos, we'll go ahead and post them up on our Instagram and shoot a link in the comments later on.
Yeah.
But as of right now, we're gonna put this all to an end out of our misery. But don't forget to follow us on Instagram at halex.p.tv. Subscribe to us on YouTube channel. If you're here, please hit that subscribe button. Please just, give us a like, send us a comment, let us know what you think. We love judgment. Don't be mean, just we like it. We want to know what we can fix. We know our microphone is shitty.
Mm-mm.
It's not that bad. But we know that it's not the best thing. But to help us out with that, please become a Patreon subscriber. For $1 a month, you can help us get these things. You could support us. You could follow us. Help us rise up as a podcast, as a ghost crew, and we will get more content for you. But for $5 a month, you do and will get updated weekly new episodes bonus. So instead of your usual weekly episode, you will get 4 new episodes, bonus episodes, every single month. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We love you guys, and have a great rest of your work week.
Bye.
And don't get sick. Wash your hands.